Not guilty. After days of deliberation, that is the verdict from the jury in the trial of Daniel Penny. He was accused in the subway chokehold death of Jordan Neely. We have team coverage here for you tonight. Investigative reporter Tim McNicholas has a reaction from both sides on the verdict. Let's begin with Alice Gaynor, who was inside the courtroom every step of the way. Alice.
Christine, normally it's supposed to be quiet in a courtroom when the verdict is read. Not today. Court officers struggled to maintain control due to so many outbursts. Some loudly cheered and applauded. Others, like Jordan Neely's father, were angry. He was kicked out of the courtroom for yelling after the verdict was read. The jury found 26-year-old Daniel Penny not guilty of criminally negligent homicide in the death of 30-year-old Jordan Neely. On Friday, the judge dismissed the top charge of second-degree manslaughter after the jury sent 2 notes saying they were deadlocked. Monday morning, they began deliberations on the lesser charge.
When you have a jury, or members or all of the jury, who ride that subway car, they put themselves in the shoes of the reasonable person. What would a reasonable person do?
On May 1st, 2023, Neely entered an F train and, according to witnesses, was acting erratically, screaming threats at passengers. Some said he threatened to kill. Penny moved to restrain him.
He said, "I'm willing to die. I'm willing to die."
It took police more than 7 minutes to arrive, EMS 20 minutes. Throughout the trial, the anonymous jury of 7 women and 5 men took notes. Prosecutors called more than 30 witnesses to the stand, including Penny's Marine Corps martial arts instructor and the medical examiner who performed Neely's autopsy and ruled his death compression of the neck, chokehold. The defense called under 10 people to the stand, including Penny's mother, sister, and a forensic pathologist who contradicted the medical examiner's ruling on Neely's cause of death, telling them he believed the cause of death was the combined effect of sickle cell crisis, the schizophrenia, the struggle and restraint, and the synthetic marijuana. Jurors also saw autopsy photos, some of Neely's psych records, and the bench warrant out for Neely's arrest. Prosecutors argued Penny had good intentions, but used way too much force for way too long. Nearly 6 minutes, they said. The defense said it was just a hold.
And I kind of came like this.
Okay. Did you apply pressure, Daniel?
No, I wasn't. I just wanted to keep him from getting to people.
Alice, you reported about reaction from people inside the courtroom, but what about Daniel Penny himself? Could you see his reaction today?
So he usually sits staring straight forward. I did catch a glimpse. He turned his head to the side and he appeared to be smiling. That's the first visible reaction I've seen from him this entire trial. I want to bring in my colleague, Tim McNicholas, for more on reaction from outside the courthouse. Tim.
Alice, let's start with what happened just before the verdict. Police actually had to use barricades to divide protesters who supported Daniel Penny and those who opposed them. After the verdict, Jordan Neely's father, Andre Zachary, stepped outside and said he is hurt by the jury's decision.
What's going to happen to us now? I had enough of this. The system is rigged. Come on, people. Let's do something about this.
Minutes after the verdict, protesters showed their frustration, as did Dante Mills, an attorney who is representing Zachary in a lawsuit against Penny.
The family's hurt. I promised this family that we would get justice. We're still going to do that. We're going to move forward with our suit. The district attorney did a good job, but the jury in this case let us down.
My son didn't have to go through this.
Neely's uncle, Clarence Neely Jr., says he's devastated.
My nephew was murdered, and the guy walked free. So that's how I'm feeling. It's an injustice.
Penny and his attorneys, Thomas Kenneth and Stephen Razor, posed for a photo after the decision, which Kenneth shared on social media. His legal team said they couldn't be more pleased that a jury acquitted him of any wrongdoing. The verdict also drew praise from Vice President-elect J.D. Vance and New York Congressman Mike Lawler, who both criticized Manhattan District Attorney Alvin Bragg for prosecuting Penny. Bragg, on the other hand, released a statement thanking his team and the jury and saying, "We respect their verdict."
It was foolish of us to think that a black man would get justice in the system designed to keep him oppressed.
I tell this family, do not give up, because that's what they want you to do. They want to discourage you, just like they tried to discourage me. But 10 years later, I'm still fighting.
And Bragg went on to say that everyone should condemn the threats that he says prosecutors have received during this case. He also thanked the NYPD for their work on this case. The NYPD, by the way, says they did have to arrest some of those protesters. We have not gotten an exact number on all that just yet. We've also reached out to Penny's attorneys to request an interview with them, and they have not been available for that so far. Christine.
Tim and Ellis, thank you. Our team was on top of this story since Neely's death back in May of 2023. We have followed this case with every new development. You can find all of that reporting at cbsnewyork.com.